Hey everybody, and welcome back to Mortisect. Today we are talking haunted houses. And if you love the genre as much as Adam does, because I remember we did an interview with Adam and he talked about his love, his affinity for haunted house movies. So,
oh boy, I better bring it. I don't even remember that.
yeah, that's okay. I didn't even remember one of the titles.
Nice.
So haunted houses have always been a staple in horror films. The first one that I think of is Vincent Price. The House on Haunted Hill was one of those first that I remember really seeing the value of haunted house movies. And through the years, I think it really is one of those staples in horror films. So today we are going to cover two newer haunted house films that are quite different, but I think equally interesting. And as always, Tatiana, Allison, and Adam. So, let's start off with 825 Forest Road. Any thoughts about it going into the film? Because it's produced by Shudder. If you read some of the reviews, which I did, it was a mixed bag. But what were the initial reactions to that movie?
I actually enjoyed it. I had some issues with the... I thought it resolved really quickly and was a little muddy for me. And I think like the POV switches, I don't know if they were necessary. I didn't mind them. We actually talked about this on the way over here. I actually didn't mind them, but I realized that sometimes the POV switch was necessary because I would miss something in the first, in another segment.
These dishes won't put themselves away.
Like they would pass over something quickly and I'd be like, wait, what happened there? And I'd try to rewind it and I wouldn't get the answer. And then I would realize in the next POV segment, like, I'm like, oh, that's what happened. I don't know if that's good structurally or bad.
I thought a lot about that.
But I enjoyed it.
I kept wondering if I like the idea of the POV change, but I kept asking myself, is it just withholding the narrative for this for the sake of extending the narrative, right? Because it doesn't want to resolve the mystery, which is fine, or is it is it adding to the drama between the characters because of information that they don't have because they aren't in the other person's POV? I kept asking myself that throughout the movie. I don't know that I have a clear answer, but yeah. What about you guys?
My take on that, because I was thinking about that too, is that I thought it was trying to make you feel like you could relate to every character equally.
Which
because
I thought it was
sometimes
successful.
You pick like a favorite character,
totally,
and you just kind of like feel like you're seeing everything through their lens, which is often intentional. But it's funny because I don't think that quite worked for me. Like I still had a favorite character that I related with most throughout the movie. It was Isabel.
Yeah, she was so good.
She's so good.
She's very good.
Yeah, she was phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree.
And I just kind of, the whole movie saw everything from her perspective, and I don't know if it was written that way.
No, but it didn't walk out there on its own. My dressing mannequin.
On purpose.
Or if her performance was just
Or
really
if it was
compelling.
just her yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I actually do think that the POVs switches, they did make me see from each of their points of view. I just think I cared the most.
Right.
About
yeah,
Isabel,
like I could see their points of view, but I still didn't always like relate with that character as much.
Totally. Yeah.
And does it feel like it's trying to set up, I don't know, spoilers?
You know what? There's going to be spoilers, but we always try not to reveal the ending. I think even if I told you, you would still have to watch it to understand it.
Totally. It wraps up very quickly.
Well, before I expound, what did you think?
I forgot to mention that we were reviewing the two films, Presence, which was in 2024, and 825 Forest Road. And just to give a little synopsis with 825 Forest Road, it's about this young man and his wife. They purchase a home in Pennsylvania, which is the home state of our very own Adam Lucas. And they're moving from the city. And this gentleman has a sister who is entering college, but he hasn't seen her in like 10 years.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a few months before, their mother and the young lady, Isabel, were in a car accident and the mother perished. So there's a lot of trauma, and she's going to a college in that area in Pennsylvania. So he decides, hey, why don't you move in with us for a semester? There's been a lot of trauma. let's get you used to college life first. And then everything seems to go off the rails. There's a lot of secrecy in this town.
Time to cut this meeting short. Get going.
Is it her?
We're just being careful.
Kind of going into my analysis of it, I like the atmosphere as far as that it was implicit. They didn't give away too much too soon, which I do like, and that builds on the suspense, especially that this is a lower budget film. It's a Shudder original, so you have to be more creative when you're dealing with that limited budget. I thought the concept was interesting. I know that with the point of view, everyone out there is that, that there's a chapter for each character of like the main characters. And I would say that Isabel, I'll have to edit that out. Plus tack. Man, I have to be honest. I'm like literally choking when I'm trying to get out those words, so I apologize. But there was a chapter for each person.
Is she here right now?
That's what it is.
I think she's here. And she
I'm
knows
getting
about our
possessed,
meeting.
I think.
Is she in you? Yeah,
I think
what you have to-
Vampire spirit is like entering my body, and I
Who
need to take
bullied you?
something.
Who hurt you? Yeah.
Welcome to Friends of Gardening.
Nice.
I see my head blow up. It's like scanners, I'm like choking.
Anyway, back to the pastries.
So I don't know if anyone else thought about this because they had a chapter for the point of view of each of the three main characters. I felt like Maria should have been the name of Isabel, and Isabel should have been Maria because
really?
I felt that Isabel looked more like a Maria, and that's why I was getting confused. I don't know if anybody
that's
else.
so funny. No, I didn't have that problem. I kind of accepted
Yeah, I
their
just
names,
accepted
but now
their
that you
names.
say that,
I wasn't
Yeah.
ready for what the final POV was without giving spoilers. Like it's not a specific character, it's something bigger than that. I thought it was going to do that, pulled the rug out from under me in a way that I'm still trying to decide if it was satisfying or not.
The first sign that something was wrong when my daughter came home from school. Mary.
If that
The
makes
final-
sense. The final POV chapter.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I did say out loud to myself that I thought that twist was going to be the twist. I was like, I bet it's not Rose Lane or whatever.
For sure.
I had a feeling because there was like
Really?
too much going on in that particular environment without giving away.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
yep.
And one of the things that I feel like I probably should mention, for those who are interested in the film, you should check it out first and then come back to this review because there's so many moving parts in it, especially the structure. Because one of the main, obviously the focus of this is that it is a haunted house film. So there was a woman in the town from the 1950s, early 50s. Her daughter was being bullied. She was writing letters to the families trying to stop this bullying. It's actually very topical today with
Yeah.
bullying and a lot of issues.
I had that thought, yeah.
So I thought that was actually a great theme to have. But you find that this mother, single mother, she's so protective of her daughter, and then her daughter succumbs to the bullying and unalives herself, and then the mother, in this rage, unalives the bully's family as well as the bully, and then takes her own life. So it's very dark, but what happens is that this spirit is lingering around this area in Pennsylvania, and the only way to stop it, because this spirit of this woman who's in distress is taking over people's lives, and people that are depressed are especially prone to the spirit. They need to find the original home of the spirit, Helen Foster, I believe. Oh,
Yes. Nice.
not totally losing it yet. If I have another coughing fit, I will. So they have to find a home and destroy it to, I guess, release those who are susceptible to her anger to be peaceful. I felt like the ending, though, with 825 Forest, it is abrupt. So they built up this idea, and I felt like they just lost steam. So I don't know.
agree.
Adam, as a writer, have you ever done something where you're really building it up? You think, oh, wow, this is... Because I almost felt shades of Quentin Tarantino. They have the chapters and very much...
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, either the funding fell out and they just had to go right to the ending,
Yeah.
or they just lost steam, or somebody heavily edited, plus tax, edited the script. So what, in your estimation, what do you think about that?
It's always hard to know specifically, right? Unless you're actually the one behind the desk. It did definitely. To me, I got the sense that reveal was supposed to feel more satisfying than it just did. And I don't know if when we got there, like you said, we got a little bit ahead of the twist, or if it was lacking in some other way. But I felt the same thing. It felt abrupt and kind of unsatisfying after all of the setup of that particular mystery. I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, I think I really like the idea of, like, in a haunted house movie, it's a haunted town.
Yeah.
Right. I thought that was a really fun play on the subgenre. I lost the thread a little bit at why the Helen was tormenting people with depression.
It's all real.
I thought that was odd, especially that she didn't want her daughter being bullied.
Oh,
She was more of a defender, and then all of a sudden, it just goes, off the train tracks.
Yeah, I couldn't quite make the connection. I felt the same
You know
way.
how I interpreted it? It made sense to me because the way I interpreted it was that it wasn't that she was seeking these people out. It was that they were more vulnerable to her wavelength and, like, letting her in. Because they were so sensitive. Like,
that makes sense.
You know how sensitive people are more vulnerable to the feelings in a room, and sometimes people say that's because they've had, like, more trauma or something, and that's why you're, like, more sensitive to feelings. And so that's what my interpretation was. Like, she wasn't necessarily targeting them, but they were, like, able to feel her the way that somebody else might not be able to.
And she just wasn't particular about who in the town she targeted. It was just her grief was universal, and it didn't matter.
It's just like
who
some
she was.
people, like, could see her and feel her, and some people couldn't, and it was like the people more in tune with those feelings too.
Which is why you have the sort of the thread of the daughter dealing with unresolved grief, right? And then it's that grief that, and it seems like it was trying to make a thematic comment about how harmful and dangerous grief unresolved is. I think it there was something about that and the notion of a revenge narrative that just felt a little bit like they kind of tripped each other up for me along the way, and maybe that's what led to that sort of bit of unsatisfying that unsatisfying quality at the end. But I totally get that makes sense to me. Yeah.
So getting back to the acting, I want to ask Allison and Tatiana. We mentioned Isabel as being, I thought she was a solid actress, really good. Were there any other acting performances that you saw that you liked, or was there a character that you felt could have been stronger?
I actually thought the performances were pretty strong, like across the board. And another thing I love about Shudder movies or movies that are more low budget is I love that I don't know the actors, that they're not a recognizable face. I love that. And I love it even better when I'm surprised by how good they are. Like, I thought everyone was pretty good. I thought the this is more of a factor of, like, maybe the writing not being quite as strong than it is the acting. And you can jump in if you disagree, but I think the whole, like, the whole scene, it's like 15 minutes in where they're at the, like, meeting of the Friends of Gardening, like. Everyone was doing their best in that scene, including Larry, the neighbor.
Hey, Chuck, you found us. Subject matter of these meetings is something a lot of the townspeople would rather never get discussed.
But I thought those characters were all kind of thinly drawn, and so everything that came out of their mouths felt a little bit like, I don't know.
It really does feel like we're starting another bad wave.
Let's not hit the panic button yet, okay?
Didn't ring true for me. I don't think it's an acting problem. I think it's a writing problem.
I get that as a writer because I've certainly had that problem where you need someone to come in to advance the plot or to do something or to create some type of drama, and then you try to find a way to also make them feel like fully fleshed in characters. And it's really hard to do sometimes.
Yeah, I think all the actors, and I'd love to know what you think too. I thought all the actors did a great job. Like, I thought Isabel was clearly the strongest. I think she was stronger than everyone else, but I thought everyone did a pretty good job.
Yeah, enjoyed.
What do you think?
I agree. So I went into this not really knowing anything about either of these movies. I looked up the movies and I was like, oh my God, this was like a low budget, like a bunch of unknowns. And I was amazed because I thought the cast was really strong.
Yeah. I had the same.
And I
same
agree
thought.
about that scene in Friends of Gardening. I think
Yeah.
we used to go, people used to bring those in for acting class a lot, like those
yeah.
kinds of scenes, because they get, when you're a struggling actor, it's kind of a big deal to get an audition for like a 2-liner in a movie. That's
Totally.
like your starting point.
Yes.
And like, I remember our teacher used to like, it was like a big process because it's hard. Like,
Yeah.
the trick was to not flesh it out, he would
Yeah,
say.
he was like, don't overdo this.
Yeah,
like,
you
your
can't like
line
make
is-
yourself stand out. You have to
Just-
like blend in, and there's
Right.
like an art to that. That's
Right.
really hard.
It is really, yeah. I'm remembering acting classes. You're talking about it, but like the line that's like, man, it's feeling like 1980.
Starting to feel like 1980 all over again.
You weren't here in 1980.
Like, that's a tough line.
That is a hard line to
And
deliver.
she did
Whoa.
fine. She did, but like that is hard.
And then
How
he
do
was
you-
like, "You weren't alive."
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I think all those actors did great for what they were given, but some of that was a little rough. And then at the end, Larry being like,
Finding that house is the only thing.
You know, sometimes she ends her meetings abruptly.
she always ends the meetings. Like sometimes she ends them extra early. Just some of those were a little tough for me, you know?
Yeah.
It's hard. That's hard. You're like, I remember also hearing in grad school, one of my favorite teachers would say, when you're choosing your material, make sure you choose really strong writing. By the way, I really enjoyed the movie, and I'm not trying to poo-poo the writing. I
Oh,
thought-
yeah, no, I
just
think
to
it
be
was
clear,
fine.
like
Same.
I just want to say, but
For what it was
yes.
great.
And I like
I-
his other work.
yes,
I'm a big
I-
fan of Hell House.
yeah.
LLC movies.
I remember my teacher saying, when you're choosing material, make sure you choose really good writing, because I might have said this in a prior episode, but like it's rare that someone's going to watch writing that's not great and be like, you know, that writing's not so great. They're probably going to blame the actor. So I thought of that in that scene.
My college professor said choosing good writing is 80% of the job done.
100%. It's you're swimming upstream if the writing's not like amazing.
But you know who stood out to me, speaking of actors? The neighbor who just came over and was
Larry.
very foreboding.
Larry.
Yeah, Larry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't he good?
Yeah, he was.
He really stood out to me.
That first part where he says,
Yeah.
I forget, it was kind of like a throwaway line, but the way he said it, and I will edit that scene in where he's like, yep, he goes, oh, you're my neighbor, and he said, yeah, I'm your neighbor, or something like that, but
Yeah.
it came off very,
Something's-
there was a lot of
something's off.
nuances underneath it.
Are you my neighbor?
I am. My name's Larry.
I'm Chuck. Dealing with some housewarming issues since moving in.
Yeah? What kind?
That rain we got last night.
So I was
And
like,
he
yeah,
was
Larry's
like,
got
take
it.
care of Isabel. Like,
Yeah.
she always goes after people who like are having a difficult time.
Keep an eye out on Isabel is all I'm saying. She knows how to mess with people.
He
Right.
was like, what do you mean? I was like, this
Yeah.
guy is good.
Like
Like,
good. I think everyone I
was.
thought was really good.
I thought of like Jed from Pet Sematary. I was like, oh, this is the guy who lives in town, who knows all the secrets of the town, and he's going to
Yes.
tell you the secrets throughout, and he's going to be a bigger
Totally.
part. So I think, in a way, I
yeah,
was
you
like,
want
oh, I
him to
want
be-
almost more out of this,
Yes,
but
yeah,
that was
they
my
did kind
fault,
of drop
maybe not
Larry.
necessarily
More
the script's
Larry.
fault.
I want to put this
Yeah,
out
yeah.
there for the director. Like,
Yeah.
maybe a sequel starring Larry. Like,
I
I
would
want more
totally
from Larry,
watch
or a
that.
prequel.
Yeah.
It's all about Larry.
Yeah.